So, hi again everyone, and thank you for joining us, and I hope you found that short video useful, and I hope it gave you some insight into our GCU London campus. And today's session, as you know, will be about living in London, and we'll give you lots of handy tips and useful websites that you can visit with information on living costs, where to shop, lots of really handy tips that you can use if you do join us in London. So my name is Lorna Campbell and I work in the recruitment team at the Glasgow campus. And we have my colleague Maria, who is actually based in the GCU London campus. And we've also got my colleague Akemsit, who is our in-country rep for Nigeria. He is based in Lagos, Nigeria, and he is there on the ground to assist any of our Nigerian or even Ghanaian applicants with any questions they might have in country. So friendly faces everywhere. Throughout the presentation, if you've got any questions, please use the chat box. So you can type in your question there. And at the end, hopefully we'll have time and we can answer some of your questions. Thank you.
Great. So for the ones that have already arrived, we are actually going to launch the first poll because we want to get to know a little bit about you. So please, Amy will be helping us to launch the poll. Take 1-2 minutes to answer what you think. How much money per month should you have to support yourself in London? There's no wrong or right question. We just want to know what are your thoughts. I believe the poll should have appeared on your screen. Yes, I'm seeing some of you are starting to answer now. We have 4 responses now. We're going to give you a bit more time so we can have more insights from you. Great. Okay, we have got more responses now. I think you can see the answers with me as well. Most of us have chosen between 1,000 and 1,400. That's actually very accurate to what the government advised us to actually have in order to live in London. So I'm glad to see that you're very informed about that. I'm going to be sharing the presentation. The presentation is going to be very interactive. We don't want you to only look up like pictures and presentations. We want you to rather know what would you do to live in London after this presentation finished. So we're going to give you all the tools for you to find out how much money will you be spending in general once you arrived. So I'm going to be sharing my screen. And just to introduce myself, I work currently in the marketing and the recruitment team for the university, but I also used to be an international student back in 2019. I came from my home country in South America. I had to apply to a student visa. I have to have all the maintenance and all the requirements in order to get the visa to come to the UK. And same as you are going to do it in the future, I only have had 20 hours to work per week, and I had to sort my accommodation and everything when I arrived to the UK. So this presentation is going to be based on my experience as well as an international student. Please, as Lorna said, feel free to ask any question you have, and we would happily respond to as many as we can after the presentation. So this presentation is called Living in London on a Budget. And the reason that we do this, it's because some of you may have been in London before or not. And that actually takes me to my second poll before I actually start. So we're going to launch a second poll. Our colleague Amy will launch it. Let me actually see if I can do it from here. Can you see the poll in the screen? Great. So we also want to find out if you have been in London before, maybe visiting, maybe you have family here, or you have been on holidays. Okay. Around 75% haven't been in London before. Okay. That's good to know for us. So then we know how can we help you from here. Okay. Well, that's great. So as we can see, the majority of us haven't been in London before. So this presentation is very relevant. If you have been in London, it's also relevant because there's a difference between living in London and coming just by visiting. So I will be sharing this with you. And the reason why we are doing the budget planning is just to reduce the anxiety that can cause us as students to come to a new place where we don't know how it works. So that's the reason why we're doing this. And we will provide you with options for a budget for you to spend your life in London. We all know, and if you haven't been here before, I'm sure you have heard that London is the most expensive, like one of the most expensive cities in the world. However, there's a lot of opportunities in terms of accommodation. So the government said that we should spend around £1,334 per month. However, with this presentation, we want to show you how you can achieve a spending between £850 and £1,000 a month. We're going to be showing you how to spend wisely on rent, on transportation, on food shopping, on clothing, going out, on like Netflix, Spotify, entertainment, on gym, but also on mobile phone plans. As I said, the government will ask you to have 1,334, and that's the rule, but we're just showing you how you can save. So to start with rent, for the ones that are coming to London with us on September, you will find several websites that they say they may be able to help you. You will find student accommodations as well. But if you're looking for a place where it's going to be affordable, we recommend you, or I personally recommend you, based on my experience as a student, to search on a spare room. So if you have a paper and a pen next to you, just take note and just write a spare room. That's going to be a key website for you. Once you get in a spare room, you will be able to check with the postcode of your address where would be the best place to live. So I'm just going to type here. This is what you will do when you want to find out an accommodation. You just look for our address. The most important part of any address in the UK, it's the postcode, which is the last 5 digits here. So I'm just going to copy that and I'm just going to paste it here, because let's say I'm a student and I want to find an accommodation close to the campus. For now, I'm just going to put this area only. However, let me show you something. London, it's divided in 9 zones. The university is located in Zone 1. So when you're looking for accommodation, the closest you are living to the university, to Zone 1, the most expensive is going to be the accommodation. If you live in Zone 2, Zone 3, Zone 4, it's going to be cheaper. However, there's a lot of types of accommodation that you would be able to find. Maybe you would want to be in Zone 2 or Zone 1 in a smaller accommodation, and then you will save on transportation. Or maybe you want a big room with a garden, so you will move to Zone 4, but then you will have to pay more in transport. It would all depend on how you would like to do it. I'm gonna show you. Okay. I'm doing it this way, so when you do it, it's going to be easier for you. So as I said, we have around 9 zones. Here we can see until the 6th one, Zone 5, Zone 4, Zone 3, Zone 2, and Zone 1. This is where the university is located. So it's in the east, around this corner. So if you're thinking where to live, and you don't have family there, I would recommend looking around this area. So you're not going to be that far from the university, and maybe you will be able to find a way to go by bus or by cycling. I'm going to also open Google Maps, because I will be showing you examples of how to arrive to the uni. So I'm just gonna put the postcode of the university as I say. I'm gonna put this area only. You can actually refine your search. So if you wanna spend maximum some money, you can add it here. You can choose to pay weekly or to calculate the cost by month. You can also choose if you want the bills to be included in the rent. I would totally recommend to be in a place where the bills will be included. So then you wouldn't have some fees that may change. Like if the energy rises, then you will end up paying more. So I would advise to be in a place where bills are included. You could also, like, it's very important here that you choose that you're going to be there 7 days a week, because in this website there are also places for short stays. So it's very important that you select 7 days per week. You can choose if you want to be in rooms in an existing place where there's other people living there. If you want a place on your own, obviously that's going to cost much more. And you can also choose if you want a whole property. Let's say you met someone here, like 2-3 people, and you all want to go and live together. You can also select that option here as well. You can also choose the size of your room. If you want single room, double room, or any room, if you want en suite, if you want it furnished or unfurnished, I would suggest you choose furnished. And then if you want to live only with females, with males, if you are vegan, like there are many options that you can choose. If you want to live with your landlord, if you don't want to live with the landlord, like with the owner of the flat living with you, that's fine. You can choose that as well. If you like to maybe be in a place where pets are like considerate, just because it's nice to be like around, I don't know, like you love animals and you would like to wouldn't mind to live with someone that has a pet, that is also something that you can choose. And very important, you can also choose if you want to see agents or if you don't want to see agent ads. When we are renting a room in London, you have to consider that you will find agents that are renting to you, direct landlords that are renting to you. The difference between an agent and a landlord is that with an agent, you will be signing a contract. I will advise to not sign a contract that lasts for more than 6 months. I have had students that sign contracts for 18 months, and then when they have been living here for a month, they realize they found a part-time job that is very far away from their house, and they cannot move because they already signed a 16 months contract. So don't do that. Do it maximum for 6 months. And even if you want to arrive to an Airbnb for 2 weeks in order to come here and have a look at rooms, that's also fine, because at the end, the only way to see which room you're going to be living in is actually you going to see the rooms. Don't get impressed by the pictures. It's very important to actually go and have a look at the place you will be staying in. So once I applied the filters, I found that there are 228 rooms available close to the university. And I'm just going to put lowest first, just to see how much it will cost. So look, there's a place, £90 per week. It's a double room. It's actually a room that you will share with someone else. So there are different options. If you met someone or if you wouldn't mind sharing with someone else, you would be able to pay £90 a week, which is less than £400 a month, when we actually said on the presentation that you could spend around 650. So what I'm showing you there is you could actually save even more if you would like to. It would all depend on your preferences. There will be places for £500, £500. Remember that this one says per week, so you need to multiply it for 4.5. When adverts are saying per week, they could actually charge more in March than in February, just because it has more days. So I would say you would probably want to choose adverts that say per month and with bills included. So as you see, there are many options. Now, if you don't mind and you want to be far from the university, you can select 3-mile radius, and then let's see. And then you will find around 1,000 results. And then if you put price lowest to first, you will see 300 per month, 75 per week, £80 per week, 400 per month, I'm actually gonna choose that data. Oh yeah, I don't know why it's showing me per weekly when I'm saying monthly, but it's just to give you an idea of what you would be able to find. And I'm now gonna organize it. I'm gonna put it again lowest to first, but I'm gonna put this area only, or yeah, I'm gonna put this area only, and I'm gonna open any of them. Let's choose one that is close to the price we said, 600, 650. Let me check. This is £563. Let's see. 579, 580. Let's look at this one. This one is £580. So we look at the ad. When it says early bird, because I think this one said early bird. Yes, when it says early bird is because if you want to get access to these ones, you will need to upgrade your account. I did it when I was a student and it was worth it because sometimes those are houses that are available just now. So only the ones that got the membership access would be able to talk to the owner of the flat. That is a good investment to do in order to find a good flat. So this is the place. You will find that many of our accommodations in London would be kind of like this one. And then it says that it's close to Shadwell Station. It says minimum term 6 months. That's great. It says that you will need to pay a deposit. Wherever you go, you will need to pay a deposit. Just keep that in mind. In this case, it's around 680. So even though you will pay 580 per month, the deposit is going to be 680. It will be furnished. You will share the living room. I would recommend to be in a place where you can share the living room because then that's the only way to get to know your flatmates. If you don't have a living room, that's fine. That's also fine, but it's good to be able to share it and get to know who you're living with, as normally they would be students or young professionals. The ad, it's saying that it includes internet, the broadband, and it says you're going to have 3 flatmates. So there's going to be 4 rooms, 1 in each room, and everyone is from 25 to 28. When I was looking for flats, I was looking to live with certain people, certain ages. So here you have the option to do that as well. They are not smokers, they don't have any pets, they speak English, they are from New Zealand, and they are 3 female professionals. They say they don't want couples living in, like if you were gonna move with a couple, they don't want that. They don't want you to smoke or to have pets. Every household is different. You just have to find someone that accommodates with your own values, which is completely fine. There are many, many, many options. So once you see these, I would say for transportation, they say they are very close to Shadwell Station. 5-minute walk away. So what I'm gonna do, if I were you, I would go to Google Maps and I would want to find out how long would it take me to go to the university. So I'm just gonna put Shadwell Station. You can put, Shadwell Station. And then I'm gonna put GCU. That's how you're gonna find us, GCU London. And then it says that you can actually go 17 minutes by overground, or you can take a bus, or if you want to walk, you can actually walk for 22 minutes. That's very good. Actually, that's not too bad at all. That's really good option. And then you can also cycle for 7 minutes. So it would be very easy for you to get to uni if you live in a place that it's close to this area. As I say, you would be able to find out once you get into spare room. Can you hear me well? I just want to double check if you can hear me well. Yeah, okay, that's great. So I hope that was helpful for you. Once we finish with this and you're like, if you already have an offer, if you're on the inquiry stage, now you know how to look for a room. You don't need to wait until you're coming. You can start searching for places where you would like to live. So I will leave it that way for accommodation because now you know how to look for it. And then the other important thing is transportation. So when I read on blogs from students, many blogs say, oh, it's very expensive to transport yourself in London. It could be, but it depends as well, because I just show you that you could actually walk to your university, or you can cycle, or you can take a bus. So in transportations, there are 3 options. The cheapest one is cycling. Basically, if you decide to cycle to the university, when I go to the website of Santander Bikes, they have some stations, a lot of stations in the city, and you actually grab a bike and then drive for 30 minutes. You leave the bicycle back, and then you drive for other 30 minutes. And as soon as you're like driving for journeys not over 30 minutes, what you will pay is maximum £2 per day. Or you can actually sign for a membership. So let me show you. A membership would normally cost £90 per year. That is extremely cheap to be able to travel across London cycling for £90 a year. But it's even better, because if you're a student, you could actually end up saving 25% of that. So you would end up paying £68 a year on transportation. So that is a very, very good opportunity. The second way would be you can travel by bus. You can travel all the city by bus. Just take into account that it's going to take longer. Like if traveling by tube could take 15 minutes, probably by bus, it could take around 20 to 22 minutes. But if you're traveling from zone 3 to zone 2, then if you do it by bus, it could take probably half an hour more than it would take by tube. But that's something I used to do as a student as well, because by month, you could end up paying around £60. However, you can apply for an Oyster card, which will give you around 30% discount in the monthly prices or in the weekly prices. So that's something that you can consider as well. Or you can travel by tube, which will cost you, you can choose to buy a 7-day card or a monthly card or a 1-day card. I would recommend you to buy rather the weekly one or the monthly one, because you're going to save the most. If you're only traveling across zone 1, it's going to cost $142 a month. If you're going to travel in zone 2, then it's going to cost the same. But if you're going to travel in zone 3, 4, 5, or 6, it's going to cost the same. It's going to cost more. That's when you have to start thinking about, do I want to live that far? Do I rather spend less on transportation? But as I said, it will be up to you. Because if you have family living here in zone 3, then it's worth it if you're not paying that much rent. The good news about, like, as I said, the transportation is that you can apply for the Oyster. You would only be able to apply for the Oyster card once you are registered as a student, once you have arrived in the UK. That's when you can log in and apply for the Oyster, because you will need to put the name of the university, and the university will approve you for you to have the discount as a student. And then if you like to travel, if you would like to go to Oxford, Cambridge, like so many places that we have around the UK, if you would like to go to Glasgow to see our main campus, you can actually buy a rail card. The rail card costs around £30, but it saves you 34% in transportation. So normally when I used to be a student, I would probably save around £20. Whenever I needed to go somewhere else, it would save me around £20 per ticket. So it's a really good option as well as a student. If you, let's say you live in zone 3 and maybe you're just using it to go from zone 3 to zone 1, it doesn't matter. As soon as you are going to zone 3, they will charge you the whole fee for zone 1, 2, and 3. So I'm just letting this here for you to decide how would you be traveling and for you to consider the transportation expense once you look for the accommodation. So until now, we have looked at rent. We have estate that there's an average expense on 650. You could spend 1,000, 1,100 on accommodation. It's up to you. But we just said this would be an average. However, you could end up paying less. Then regarding transportation, we have said 100. However, we have shown you how you can spend even £10 a month if you decide to cycle, even like 25p a month, I think it was. No, it was like £10 a month if you decide to cycle. Or you can just go by tube. If you take the tube, it will cost you zone 1 and 2, 142, but then you will have 30% discount. and it would end up being around 104 pounds. Okay. And then regarding shopping, clothing, going out, I'm about to show you that now. Are we good there? I just want to double check you are listening me and everything is fine. Okay. For food shopping, I'm going to be showing you the ones in which you can find best deals. So if you're walking down the street and you see Lidl, you see Aldi, you see Iceland or Farm Foods, if you see any of these logos around, just go straight. Don't worry. Those are the places where you are going to find the best value for money. Okay. I know when I was a student and I was new, I was kind of calculating the money, comparing the money in my home country with the UK and just trying to work it out how much it will cost me. In general, food in the UK is not that expensive, to be honest. It's not really expensive. What it could be expensive is living. But apart from that, apart from housing, you will find out that everything else, if you compare it with the minimum average salary, it's very affordable. But the best places in terms of value for money would be these four. And then there are other places like the ones I'm showing you here. Just if you can take a screenshot, do it as well. So you kind of, when you see these places, you know, you can go straight away. And when you see those, it's very important that you sign for a loyalty card, because then you will get points. And with the points, you will get discount. As a student, you will get 10% on COP whenever you buy. So that's good as well. And you will also find websites like these ones that will show you a comparison between how much you can spend. So they said we compare Asda, Aldi, and Tesco weekly show prices in supermarkets. So they are just saying if you go to Aldi and you buy fruits, veg, salad, and meat, as you see, this is a large whole chicken, this is a minced beef, and salmon fillet. I think this is something for around 2 people. So they are saying that if you are weekly buying for 2 people, you may spend around 37 pounds here. And then on Tesco, you may be spending 46 pounds. But as I said, it's 10 more than Aldi. But if you have discounts for being a student, if you have the loyalty card, then you're going to close that gap between one and the other one. That is regarding food shopping. And then we also have house shopping. We know when you arrive here, you may want to buy blankets or furniture. If you want to buy any extra furniture for your room, you could definitely go to any of those places. We understand that you may be living in certain place where you will need to know where you can find the closest store. You can take an Uber, and if the store is closed, it wouldn't cost you more than 10 pounds to go from the stores to your house if you go to Wilko or if you go to Primark. But with IKEA, we don't have that many locations, so you may want to go there or maybe order it online. If you order it online, it could actually arrive to your nearest post office, and then you can pick it up from there. I just left here like the locations that we have in general, let's say for Wilko, and just kind of to show you what are the products that you would be able to find. You can find like anything. Primark is also very popular, and you can just come and look at all the products they have. And also IKEA, which many of you may know already. So anything for home shopping, we would recommend these 3 brands, okay? As we said, in food shopping, you could be spending around £100 a month. I know students that spend less, like £70. But I would say just for you to be comfortable, have all you need, you will be spending around £100. So just coming back to the presentation, we have talked about this one, we have talked about transportation, and we have talked about food shopping. Now we are going to talk about clothing, going out, gym, etc., etc. And the most important thing when spending on this is actually buying these 3 cards. These are student cards that have exclusive discounts available to students. You have to register for the cards and you have to pay for them. Some of them will cost £15, some of them will cost £29. So you would end up spending around £50 if you want to buy them all. But the good news is that you can actually save a lot of money wherever you go. I love, for instance, New Balance shoes, and I used to go and get 20% discount on it, only in New Balance. Even if I would go to an outlet, I would get 20% of the discounted price. I think that was very useful. If you want to go to the cinema, if you're going to go to the gym, if you want to go to the theater, if you want to go to sightseeing, if you want to go to, there are like tickets for theater, anything, you will find that they have discounts. And one of the famous one is Uni Days. So you will have discounts in food and drink. So I will just show you while this loads. Let me close this. Okay. So we have like delivery food as well. So you can get discounts on that. Spend 15 and get 10 off. 20%, 30%, 20%, 20%, 30, 15. Even some of these places are close to the campus, so it may be worth it just to have a look at it. We also have discounts in fashion. ASOS, we have 15% discount in ASOS. And we also have in technology. So before you buy a mobile plan, make sure you sign for these cards. You also have to do it through the university because you need to have an ID, an email, and a student ID once you show your card. If you know Amazon Prime, this is something that you can, it would be very useful because you would be able to watch all their videos and everything and all the series, but at the same time, you will have Prime, which means you wouldn't pay anything for delivery from Amazon. I even order my food shopping from Amazon as well. So it's very useful, and you will pay 50% off when you sign for it. You would also be able to find SIM plans here. So when you arrive to the UK, you wouldn't be able to have a mobile phone plan that will include the phone. At first, you will only be able to get a SIM plan because you don't have a proof of address. So they wouldn't give you like a mobile phone straight away, but you can get a SIM plan. And here there are very good deals where you can pay £10 a month, £5 a month for like good data as well. So I would totally recommend looking at this. My conclusion with the average monthly spend is you can definitely save on rent, and you can live near the campus if you want. You can save on transportation as well if you decide to cycle, going by bus or walking, or you can, and maybe during the weekends, you can take the tube. You can save in food shopping if you have the loyalty cards and if you select which places you want to go and buy. And of course, you can save on everything else if you decide to apply for the student ID cards that will help you to get the discounts. So just to wrap it up, this is all what we wanted to show you regarding your life in London. We hope that has been helpful. I'm sure that with this information, you will be able to look and do the research yourself and start finding what are you going to be living and how much you will spend. And I hope this information has helped you to reduce the anxiety of not knowing where to go. Remember that there are more than 400,000 students in the UK currently studying. So you're not the only one. This is a city full of students. Don't feel afraid if you go to a place and you want to ask for discount and you want to like say, do you have a student discount? I used to do that all the time because sometimes they don't advertise it, but they actually have it. So I would recommend to do that as well, wherever you go. And then just remember that we have a fees payment plan. We are the University for the Common Good. We are really obviously caring about our students. We understand we're international students, and many universities around, they wouldn't give you like the facility to pay, but because we are the University of the Common Good, what we have is after you pay a deposit of £4,000, you would be able to pay the remaining in 8-month installments. So if, let's say, just to put an example, if your fees were around 12,000, and if you pay £4,000, it means that the remaining 8,000 you will be able to pay them in 8 months. And if you are starting on September, you will need to be in the campus around September, but then you will start paying the remaining 8,000 in October, from October to May. Okay, so this is something that we don't advertise on the website that much, but it exists. So I just want to let you know that we actually have that available for international students as well. You can ask us if you have any question. You can, of course, email us to to inquiries or the university website, which I'm going to show you later. And then lastly, we want to talk to you about jobs. We know many of us, when we come as international students, we want to find opportunities. There are two different types of jobs that you would be able to find. You can find informal jobs. When I talk about informal jobs, is working on events, working on part-time jobs that wouldn't probably add to your CV because they are not relating to what you're studying. But it would be good if you want to do a summer job, if you want to do a placement, if you want to do like delivery, remote work from home, remote part-time. There are, let's put here London. I'm just going to show you. Dun, dun. And look what you're going to find: advertising, online marketing, bar staff, sales, logistics, training, admin, customer service, promotions, home care, management, retail. Just take into account that because you're a student, you can only work part-time. You only would be able to work full-time if you're on holiday, if you're not attending classes. So most of the time you will only be working part-time, sorry. That's the reason why many of the jobs may be informal. However, there is another website that I wanted to show you that is called Working Startups. Most of the startups in the UK put their available positions in this website, and here you will be able to find part-time jobs that could be more related to what you are studying. So just to give you a brief, I have a friend. He is a software developer. He came to the UK to do his master's, and it was computing relating. And he found a job here as a developer intern. And nowadays, he's still in the UK under a work visa. And it all started because he was working for a startup, and then he used that experience to find a full-time job. So what I would recommend is, if you have some experience and you would like to find a job relating to your experience, it's very worth it to visit this page. You will find marketing jobs, managerial jobs, sales jobs. And the good thing is, because it's a startup, sometimes they wouldn't require someone full-time, and they would be more flexible in terms of time management. That would be good for you as well. So I totally recommend looking at this website. Let me just give you an example. So let's say I want a marketing job and I want it part-time. And these are featured. Most of the ones you find, remember, are going to be full-time, because if you're a company, you would want to have someone full-time. But look at this one, marketing lead co-founder. Let me put part-time. Okay, let's see. They are featured. I think they are paid, so that's why they put in there, because we only want to see part-time. I was looking at this yesterday, so let me just select it again. Okay, part-time. Okay, I don't know why it keeps showing me full-time. I was looking yesterday and I was able to look some part-time. So you will have to go your way around here, but I was able to see some from marketing as well, part-time. But you will have more time on your own to check on this website. That's how two of my friends found jobs. And it's a really good opportunity for students. And then there's also the Career Hub. Once you are part of the university, you will be able to log into the Career Hub, and then you will be able to, let's say, make an appointment, if you want someone from the careers team to help you review your CV, to give you advice on how to do an interview, what would you like to talk about, application review and feedback, career planning. If you want to look at your CV, the friend that I'm telling you about that is a software developer nowadays, he actually went to his career hub at the university and he found advice about the CV, because the way the CVs are done in London are very different from our home countries. Like, we wouldn't put a picture of us. Like in my home country, we would need to show who we are physically and just maybe put a smiley face. Here is very different, and how you would do the heading on your CV would be very different. So I would recommend to book one of these appointments so you can have even knowledge about how to build up your LinkedIn profile, and they have some placement and internships available, so you can actually look for opportunities and what you can find. So I would recommend visiting this as well once you are signed in the university. And then if you have any questions, you can email us here. You can rather type them on the chat, and hopefully we will have 10 minutes to reply to them. And we also have a chat on our website. When you go to GCU London, you select Start Chat and you put your name, your address, your phone number, applicant support chat, and then someone will be speaking with you with any inquiry you may have. I hope this was useful, and I'll see if we have any question on the chat. So I'll leave it with Lorna and Ikemesi.
Thanks, Maria. We do have one question, and you've kind of covered it. It's someone asking about, when it comes to work, will they be able to find a job related to the course that they are reading? So Maria covered that really useful website called workinstartups.com. So if you were looking for something related to what you're studying, I think that would be a really good first step for you. Some students don't go down that route, and they want to find a part-time job, that they go in, they do it, they go out, they leave, they keep it at work, and then their studies are very separate. It's really up to you and the type of person you are and what you want to achieve. But as Maria said, if you're looking for jobs, post-study, that startup website is a really good shout. And there will be other websites available that you can search for jobs that are related to your studies. And it will be probably, I would imagine, part-time internship type jobs. So I don't know if that answers your question. I think is it EBIA? If that answers your question, great. If not, let us know if we can expand on it and make some other suggestions.
I had experience from one student. She was in the USA. She was a nurse, and she actually wanted to change her career to business. So she came here and she studied something business related, and she wanted to find a job in business. So she actually did an internship. This internship, she wouldn't be paid for 3 months. Internships depend on university, on the company, but this one was very specific. She wasn't going to be paid. I said, "Are you sure you want to do that?" She said, yes. She did it for 3 months. With that experience, she got another part-time pay job. And then in that company, she was given a work visa. And now she actually changed her job to another company, which also gave her a visa. And she used to be a nurse in the USA. So I think it would all depend on you, on what you're willing to do to spend time. Finding a job, it's another job itself. When I was a student, I started looking for jobs 1 month before coming to the UK. Because if you're applying for the visa, if you know that you already want to come here, if you know that you're going to pay the deposit, then you have to start working towards coming here. That's why we're giving you all these tools for you to start working out everything from now on. It's possible, yes, as Lorna said, but it will totally depend on you. London is the city of opportunities. You will have to go out there and find them as well. I don't know if Ikemesit would like to add something, because he's our country representative and some of you may have the possibility to talk to him.
Hello, everyone. Good day. Nice to meet everyone. Yes, I think Lorna has said it all, and like the presenter rightly said, so of course, whatsoever it is, like we say in Nigeria, whatsoever it is that, like, you need or you want as regards like your career prospects, I think it's best you carry on your own research, because I think knowing what to do and working towards achieving it is also part of you getting the desired results. So, like in the university, you want to come to Glasgow Caledonian University, you do your research, you read about the university, about the programs, about the living costs, and the same thing. If you have intentions of perhaps maybe like finding a part-time job, I think it's also good. You also do the research rightly, just like Maria said. So I think so far that's all for now. But if there's any other question or any questions that's related to like being a Nigerian and going to London, then for sure I'm happy to answer.
Is there any other question? Let us know in the chat. Otherwise, that would be the end of the webinar. I think that's it. So we will be talking to you in the future. Just emailing us. We may be sending a follow-up email after this webinar just to see if you have any questions or if you want to speak with one of our advisors. We would be happy to help you with any question you may have. Have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.